News is next, and tonight the Super Bowl champs make a super second-half comeback in their run-in with the Rams, but they came up short. We'll go live to the locker room for all the details. And spirited Bears fans sound off in the grand tradition of the armchair quarterback.
Of course, the other big game in town tonight is the race for governor. We'll hear from both Stevenson and Thompson as they enter the final stretch of the campaign. And we'll tell you how the candidates in the bitter fight to be Cook County Sheriff are spending the final hours before Election Day. Those stories and more next on Eyewitness News.
Once there were 3 bears who traveled far and wide in search of a luxury car with plenty of room inside. "This import's way too small," one said, "and in this mid-sized car I'll bump my head." But Chevy Caprice was a different story. The 3 bears were in their glory. "It's a good buy for my money. There's even room for all our honey." Another thing about Caprice that's great, it's $2,000 less than an Olds 88.
Every year about this time, people in Illinois like to get out and play a little football. Trouble is, a couple of hundred people could crack their ribs playing a little football. There could be any number of pulled hamstrings, 50 or more broken bones, and who knows how many cuts and bruises. Fortunately, a lot of the football players in Illinois have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, health plans that offer better care at better rates than any other. Do you have Blue Cross?
I swear by Apollo the physician, and Aesculapius, and health and all heal.
According to the law of medicine, but to no others. I will follow that method of treatment
which, according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients.
These words are being brought to you by one of America's most successful, innovative, and affordable health plans, because we're still idealistic enough to believe them.
For the benefit of the sick.
MaxiCare. Health care the way it was meant to be.
She's battling her deepest fears, Tuesday at 3.
This is Eyewitness News with John Drury and Marianne Childers. Steve Deschler's weather, Tim Weigel on sports, and the Eyewitness News team. This is Eyewitness News.
Good evening. It's Election Eve, and there are 2 big games in town tonight, Chicago Bears football and Illinois politics. Politics made its way to the Bears game with a fireworks display paid for by Alderman Edward Doliak, urging fans to vote Democratic. But tonight, Tim Weigel says fans are casting their ballots for the world champion Bears despite a last-minute loss. Tim is standing by at Soldier Field. It's a bitter pill, Tim.
John, it's very eerie out here. A lot of Bear fans and certainly a lot of Bear players are not used to this feeling of losing a heartbreaking game in the final seconds. The main news I have to report for you, I've just spoken to Walter Payton. It was thought he had a broken toe. The x-rays apparently have been negative, and Walter Payton is going to be all right. When Walter left the game, Thomas Sanders came in, and he scored not once but twice. Ironically, Sanders had carried the ball 9 times at one point in his whole season and scored 4 touchdowns. But here was a play that really hurt the Bears. Ron Brown got behind Sean Gale, 65 yards. At that point, Dills had connected on only 1 of 14 passes. And that, of course, the field goal by Mike Lansford to win it with 4 seconds to go as the Bears fall 20-17 to the Rams here. It's the 2nd defeat of the season, naturally, for the Bears. When we come back in a few minutes, we'll have live interviews and lots of other reactions from a very glum Bear locker room. Live at Soldier Field, Tim Weigel, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Tim, thank you. There is another contest capturing Chicago's attention tonight, but we won't know the final score until the polls close tomorrow. The campaign for governor is almost over, and tonight challenger Adlai Stevenson has been working with County Democratic Chairman Ed Verdoliak to shore up his support here in Chicago. That just a few hours after Verdoliak's arch rival, Mayor Harold Washington, also came to Stevenson's aid to get out the black votes. Adlai Stevenson also completed a whirlwind tour of the state, at one point crossing paths with his opponent, Governor Thompson, and offering a reminder.
While you're here, be sure to tell the people how much you're going to increase their taxes.
Okay, I will. I won't forget.
Our Andy Shaw has been keeping up with the Stevenson campaign throughout the day, and Andy's here now for a final pre-election interview with the candidate. Andy.
Senator, I've been following you for a couple of weeks, and you're running essentially a one-issue campaign, the governor's 10-year record. But the question people keep asking me is, what are you going to do to lead the state any more effectively than he has?
I've spelled out my plans, Andy. I spelled them out in 1982, and I spelled them out in 1986. And they boil down to, whether it's education or employment or utilities, they boil down to smart, efficient, honest government and a governor that will tell the people the truth.
Of course, you're talking about taxes. One thing people bring up, you couldn't keep the party together in the primary. The LaRouche candidates beat your own candidates for Secretary of State and Lieutenant Governor. The question is, if you can't keep the party together, how can you lead one of the biggest states
Andy,
in the country?
I was a private citizen. I won the nomination with more votes than any candidate of either party, 60% more votes than the governor won his nomination with. And then, and after that event, which wasn't anticipated by anybody, nobody of either party, we regrouped, we put the party back together, we got back on the ballot as members of an independent ticket. We have persevered against every kind of adversity, not to mention or including a broken back and a broken foot. I think that what we have done against all of the odds is little short of miraculous.
Senator, all the polls say you're going to be a landslide loser tomorrow. What do your political instincts tell you?
My instincts are the best poll. My instincts tell me that the people, after 10 years, more years than any governor has served in that office, that the people are ready for a change. They know that this great state can do better. We don't have to compete with West Virginia for last place. They know that our weakness is not our workforce, it's our government, and they want to change, and I'm the alternative to 4 more years.
Senator, we all wish you good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you, Andy. Governor Thompson declined our live interview invitation tonight. He took in a Bears game instead, that after a statewide fly-around where he took a true and false test with our Hugh Hill on accusations made by challenger Adlai Stevenson.
Governor Thompson places more emphasis on penitentiaries than he does on education.
Well, that charge is false. Last year, we spent $400 million for penitentiaries to have some place to lock up the dangerous criminals in Illinois, and we spent $4 billion, or 10 times as much, on education.
Cash flow in the state is low and a tax increase is waiting. True or false?
False. November is a historically low month. We're up over $60 million in the bank. We're exactly at the level that we predicted 6 months ago. After December, when sales taxes and income taxes come in, we'll go higher.
Jim Thompson has lied to the people of Illinois. True or false?
False. I've never told a lie in all of my political life. Don't intend to. It's been a long campaign, that's for sure. 15 months is a long time to spend on the campaign trail and be governor at the same time. And it's a wearying process. But I'm as excited about the job of being governor and helping the people of this state as I was when I first announced 11 years ago. I'm a far better governor, I think, than I was 10 years ago. You keep learning. You even learn from mistakes. So I'm happy to be a candidate for re-election, and I hope the people will support me.
Governor Thompson will vote tomorrow near his Northside home. Stevenson will vote near his farm outside Galena in western Illinois. Marianne?
And coming up next this evening, we'll have details on the last-minute campaigning in the long, bitter fight for Cook County Sheriff. Also, former Beirut hostage David Jacobson prepares for a long-awaited family reunion.
If you're going to come play in Florida, you better know Florida rules. In Florida, you can't carry a wristwatch without a permit. You're required to find a shirt that you wouldn't be caught dead in and buy it. And you must get suntanned in a place you've never been tanned before. Now, don't argue. This is Florida. The rules are different here. Oh, at least once in Florida, you have to watch the sunrise. Then go to sleep.
It's clean, it's reliable, and it's on time. It works.
Why not give the best commuter train service in the nation a try? With our 10-ride fare, that saves you 15%, good for 6 months.
I look out the window and say, that's crazy.
Read or work or watch the miles go by. You're on Metro, the way to really fly.
The Metropolitan Rail.
wondering what it can do on a dry highway, you're ready for an Audi.
You know, life's too short to worry about impressing other people. I mean, have you ever been really impressed by a person's credit card? What matters about a credit card is how it impresses me. MasterCard gives me what I want, and anything is possible. It goes where I want to go. Could be Timbuktu. When I want, day or night. Don't talk to me about impression.